Yes, people, welcome back to the 894 for a City versus Real Madrid first leg of the Champions League semi-final review. A 4-3 win for the Blues. We take a 1-goal lead to the Bernabeu. Before we get started, please do us a massive favour. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. We're trying to hit our goal of 2,500 subscribers before the end of the season, and your support will be massively appreciated. Let's get into our thoughts. Okay, Joe, what a game. What a game is all I can say. For the neutral spectator, that was one of the best games of football, the most exciting games of football that we've seen all season. Now, it's been a common pattern for Real Madrid. They've been involved in some banger games this season. You know, they played PSG, and they've come back from deficits to get through there. Likewise with Chelsea, or they played Chelsea off the park in Stamford Bridge, and the game in the Bernabeu was crazy. And tonight did not disappoint. Tonight really did not disappoint. I said in the preview, and I said all throughout our live watch along, I would like a 2-goal lead going to the Bernabeu, because in the Bernabeu they will be more prolific. They will fancy their chances, and I think it's inevitable that they will score in the Bernabeu just because of who they are and the players they have going forward. And then for us to go up by 2 goals 3 times in that game, and then to not finish the game up by 2 goals. It does feel a bit disappointing, but nevertheless, we do still have the win. So it's kind of like a happy and sad sort of situation. But listen, what are your thoughts? Outline to me your thoughts.
We've won a game against Real Madrid, and we've scored 4 goals against Real Madrid, and I feel devastated. Like, I feel really annoyed. Like, I never thought I'd be sitting here after scoring 4 against Real Madrid in the Champions League, the kings of the competition, after winning and scoring 4 goals and going, I'm not happy. I'm just not. I'm so annoyed that we let it slip numerous times. We got it gifted on a plate so many times. Defensively, I thought they were shocking. A couple of mistakes. We could have capitalised even more. Like Foden had a couple of... Oh, he had a couple of sitters. He definitely should have had more. I didn't think he was great today. But yeah, I'm just so annoyed. And then obviously there was the penalty, and I'm so annoyed that was given as well, because I don't know what the rules are. No one knows. Let's be clear, no one knows what the rules are. No one has a clue. We were sat there on stream going, is this a penalty? How is this a penalty? It's come off his head first. Does that change it? I was of the opinion that last year they told us that if it hits another part of the body and that deflects it onto the hand, it cancels out the handball. Because in my mind, if it doesn't hit his head, it doesn't hit his hand. So it shouldn't be a handball, but they give it. And that's the rule in the Premier League, and the rule in the Champions League is different. Nobody knows. It's so unclear. But at the end of the day, like, defensively ourselves, we weren't great either. Like, we let it slip. Didn't help that John Stones had to come off after 30 minutes, and we had to have Fernandinho at right back. He got absolutely skinned for the Vinicius goal. I'm just devastated, but we're in the driver's seat still. Like, it's still in our hands.
I think it was a tale of which defence could hold up better. And obviously the scoreline shows that we did, but we know our defence is so much better than what we saw tonight. Now, we do have to make allowances. I think we should all agree that John Stones should not have been even in the matchday squad, never mind the starting 11, hence why he came off after 25-30 minutes. He didn't look sharp. It looked like Vinicius was going to beat him all night if Pep didn't take him off. Pep had to make the decision, bring on Fernandinho at right back, who we were all kind of going, this is just a mismatch, an absolute mismatch. 37-year-old Fernandinho up against one of the fastest players and prolific players in front of goal, clinical Vinicius Jr. Recipe for disaster. And I said when he came on that this is a chance for Fernandinho to, prove his doubters wrong sometimes, or make himself a hero or an unsung hero, whatever you want to call it. And he got his assist for the Foden goal, and that was great. But then it showed his age and his lack of pace. Naturally, you can't fault him. Showed when Vinicius skinned him and got that goal. Diaz also, you give him the benefit of the doubt that he was out for 6 weeks, and he's only really come back, and he's been rushed back into a position where he has to be performing at the highest level, and that's really not fair on anyone. Laporte did what he could. It was a tough day. He will feel hard done by, like Joe explained there, with the handball situation, and Zinchenko played okay. It was a really tough day for the defence, because Real Madrid have those attacking players who can cause serious troubles. But in terms of us going forward, we started off rapid. We got that goal inside the first 2 minutes. Throughout De Bruyne, Mahrez and De Bruyne link up, fantastic goal. Then we go again, we go another goal up, and we're thinking we're in dreamland here. We're going to want to pump them. And then inevitably, Benzema, who is inevitable, comes and gets them back into the game. And then it goes, we go 2 goals up, they got to go back. We go 2 goals up, they got to go back. But we can talk about that, and that's great, how we allowed them to get themselves back in. But something we need to talk about is the chances that we didn't take. Just off the top of my head, there's three. There's the one where Mahrez hit the post. He's through on goal. He should have scored. He used the inside of his left foot. Maybe a right foot would have been the option there, even though we know he's very left-footed. And then Foden gets the rebound off the post. Anywhere but where he hit it, and it's in the back of the net. Then, of course, there was the one or two chances Diaz had in the far post. I think it took a touch, went for a corner, very unfortunate. Laporte found in the number 9 position, hits it straight at Courtois. We really should have put some of these chances to bed. It was a frustrating one, Joe.
Yeah, it was a story of the season, really. We could have walked away with 5 or 6 and been 2 goals up anyway. We didn't take our chances through either the wrong decision being made in the final third, which has happened before this season. It's nothing new. Mahrez definitely should have squared it to Foden. He had a tap-in. Foden, again, found himself about 8 yards in front of goal, just hits it straight at Carvajal. It's shocking. It's something that we can't afford to do at this level. Luckily, we still won the game, of course, but that could come back to bite us because we've only got a 1-goal lead now instead of a 2-goal lead or even a 3-goal lead. Not good enough, not clinical enough. We've said this before. Obviously, Jesus took his chance well. Surprised he got taken off, to be honest. He looked like again, he's fighting for his career. So, again, it's just, I was screaming for Foden to be taken off. I know he scored, and going forward, we look much better, but he was just so off it. He definitely should have had more. He kept losing the ball. None of our players could pass. It's not a criticism of just Foden or anyone else. All of our players had moments where they passed the ball away. Ederson as well. I remember in the first 20 minutes, he must have passed it to Real Madrid again like 2 or 3 times. Like he started off shaky, and I think, mid-record session, I think Pep's just said, we're usually calm on the ball at the back, and we weren't today. It was very shaky, and you said it in the stream. It's probably the most nervous you've ever been when we have the ball in our back 4 all season. It's baffling how shaky we were, but hopefully it doesn't affect us in the second leg, and hopefully it doesn't affect us for Leeds, because it's straight back in at the weekend.
I know it's all shoulda, woulda, coulda, but in theory, we could have had this tie put to bed tonight. We really could. I think if you put Walker and Cancelo both fully fit, I know once again it's all shoulda, woulda, coulda, and if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle kind of thing. But if they're both in their full back positions, fully fit and ready to go, I think it's a completely different game. I really do. I think Walker has the pace and the defensive ability, we all know he does, to keep Vinicius Jr. much quieter than he was tonight. So hopefully we can see some sort of a Walker next week, even if he's semi-fit, maybe put him on. I don't know. Cancelo will be back for the second leg. He'll be back from suspension. I've no doubt he will make an impact, at least if he's playing right back, which I think he will if Walker's not. He should do a better job than what Fernandinho and Stones did tonight. It's all to play for. I think both teams will fancy their chances in the Bernabeu next week. Madrid will say if we can score 3 in the Etihad, there's no reason we can't score 3 in the Bernabeu as well. And likewise with City, they'll be saying we exploited them for 4 tonight, should have scored 5 or 6 or 7 even. No reason we can't do that next week. Both teams will feel that final is there for them to get. But from a City perspective, the dressing room, I would imagine there will be an overwhelming feeling of, it was really there for us. It was really there for us to put to bed tonight and then go for Leeds on the weekend and then just see out the tie next week. But now we have to go into Leeds full-blooded. That's a massive 3 points. That is a cup final game. I have no doubts about it. People, Leeds in the weekend away in Ellen Road. Tough game. Must win. And then we have to go and do the business in the Bernabeu. Massive week ahead. All to play for. A really exciting game tonight. I have no doubt. I fully agree with that. But I still feel missed opportunities, and that has been the story of our season. Both Liverpool games, home and away, missed opportunities we should have scored. Other games where, Palace and Southampton and games where we dropped points, missed opportunities, not being clinical, and that was our problem tonight. I would have had no issue with us conceding 3 tonight if we'd scored 6 or 7, because I can make allowances for the defence being very much makeshift and injuries and suspensions, as long as the front 5 are doing the business and scoring when they should. But that wasn't to be. A great thing scoring 4 goals, but you can't help but think there's quite a few missed goals that we should have taken tonight. Anyways, with that much said, we're going to go over to our player ratings now and see what we gave the lads out of 10. Okay, we're going to pop up our player ratings on screen for you to see right now. As always, do get involved down below in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on our ratings. Would you rate anybody higher? Would you rate anybody lower? 1 to 10, let us know what you think. In goals, we gave Ederson a 6. You can't really give Ederson too much when he conceded 3 goals, even if they're not necessarily his fault. A keeper's job is to keep the ball out of the net, and you concede 3, it's tough. And Joe kind of alluded to it earlier on that some of his footwork was a bit shaky. His distribution wasn't the best. We gave Zinchenko a 7. I thought Zinchenko had an up and down performance. Some of his distribution was off at times. Some of it was great at times. Some of his defensive work was poor at times. Some of his defensive work was great at times. It was a funny one for Zinchenko. Laporte, we gave a 6 to. He will feel hard done by probably with that handball and the penalty, because it's one that we're all baffled about. Is it a penalty? Is it not? What's the rule? I don't know. Diaz, a 5. He's not fit. That's the thing with Diaz. He's just not fit to be playing at this level right now. He's been brought back into the team and told, we need you to be back at your highest level for these massive games. And he's just not. And you can't expect that from him. Stones, we gave him a 4 because he only played about half an hour. Didn't do a huge amount wrong, but it was very evident that he was off the pace, Joe.
Yeah, it's hard for Stones. I think he wanted to do his best to help the team. I think he wanted to be there for the team, knowing that he was, the natural next in line for right back, and we don't have any natural available on that side. So he tried, but has he picked up an injury now? And if he has, that's just poor judgment. Like, if he's injured, then he has to just sit and rest, because there's no point in getting injured now, because luckily, Cancelo's was a suspension. As much as I was incredibly disappointed from getting the suspension in the first place, at least he will be back, and we will have someone natural on that side. I thought Zinchenko was the best of the lot. His defensive work, I think the amount of interceptions he made was unbelievable. But again, his passing, a little bit off. 50-50s that just didn't go his way, really. And for the rest of them, there's not much more you can really say. Benzema's gone and scored 2 goals, albeit one's a penalty. I think Zinchenko for that first Benzema goal was poor. You can't let him run in front of him. Ederson just couldn't pass a ball, but he had no chance with any of the goals anyway. I think Laporte was just unlucky with the penalty, but he didn't really do anything spectacular anyway. And Diaz is just so unfit. You saw for the Vinicius goal where he's gone past Fernandinho. Diaz is so slow getting back. He's so slow, he can't keep up with him. Now, that's not a knock, because Vinicius Jr. is very, very, very quick. But he just can't keep up, and there were times where he'd give the ball away. Him and Stones in that first half, it was just who was going to give the ball away first. They were passing it between themselves and just giving it to someone, a Real Madrid shirt. So it was poor. I think aerially he dealt with it well, but kind of expect him to be like that. They don't really pose that much of a threat apart from Benzema, but he dropped deep a lot, so he wasn't really a factor on that line of defence. Just wasn't good enough defensively, and we know we can be better, and if we are better, we'll win the tie.
What we can take some confidence and some solace from is next week our back four will be better. It absolutely will be better. Diaz will be that bit fitter. He'll have played against Leeds. He'll have had tonight under his belt, and he'll have had another week's training. He'll be that bit fitter. Cancelo will be back in the starting 11, absolutely no doubt. So it will be better. We have to just make allowances tonight, even though it's frustrating. Moving into midfield, we got Rodri a 7. I thought overall Rodri was good. I thought his attacking build to play was good. I thought he was doing a lot of covering for our defensive difficulties tonight. He was able to realise that Diaz and Stones or Fernandinho at times were struggling defensively with Vinicius and our overall right hand side. So he was doing a lot of covering work, a lot of the dirty work that you don't usually get praise for. It's not very rewarding work because it doesn't look great, but we notice it and we appreciate it. Bernardo, we gave man of the match to. That's why the stars beside his name. We gave him an 8. I thought he was really good. Took his goal really well. Did very well to stay alert and realise the ref hadn't blown his whistle. A lot of players, similar to the Real Madrid players, would have just switched off and stopped playing. He stayed alert, put the ball in the back of the net, and I thought overall he was very good. His energy was very good, and that's what I wanted from him. I wanted him to play a high energy game, high intensity, and for the most part he did that. De Bruyne got his goals in the first 2 minutes. He led by example tonight. I thought he was very good for the most part of the game. Possibly coasted at times for 5-10 minute periods, but overall, very good performance from De Bruyne, and we need more of that, definitely against Leeds and against Madrid next week in the Bernabeu. Joe, I thought the midfield did what they could tonight. It was just, maybe it didn't make them look as good having the weak defence behind them.
No, I thought Rodri was up against it tonight. I'm surprised he got a 7 because he had to do both ends. He had to do his normal job and the job of the back four, because they clearly weren't up to the task today, and he was covering a lot. He was in our box a lot, breaking up attacks, interceptions. He was doing absolutely everything. I kind of feel sorry for him in a way. I think he was visibly shaking his head after full time, because I think even he knows that it just shouldn't be 4-3. We should have had more. I think Bernardo Silva was the UEFA man of the match. I think deserved. Great finish for his goal. it's standard performance from him. That's what we've come to expect. Same with De Bruyne recently. This is sort of the standard that he's, set himself over the years. I thought at the second half, I didn't really notice him, if I'm going to be honest. I didn't notice him that much. But obviously, he sets us 1-0 within 2 minutes of the first half. Obviously, first half, he was the main guy, and he popped up every now and then to come onto the ball. But the second half, again, he just kind of fell off a bit. Is that because he's played a lot of football recently? He has also come off an injury himself, so he wasn't bad, but he just kind of just disappeared a little bit for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for De Bruyne and it's hard for the midfield, as I said, with that defence behind them. Rodri had a lot of work to do, and then that's making gaps in midfield. And you have to give credit to Real Madrid's midfield. Modric and Kroos are both top players, and they played their roles tonight. Moving into the front three, Foden a 7. Foden frustrated me a little bit. He took his goal very well, but I thought at times he was giving the ball away sloppily or making the wrong decision, or maybe things just weren't going his way. We know Foden's a fantastic player, and it could have been just one of those nights. But he did do some good things tonight. He did contribute very well at times. I just don't think he will feel he contributed the way he would have liked to. Jesus was the best player of the front three. I think it's fair to say he was really good. And we said this in the preview, when he's fighting for his career or he's linked with a move away, he seems to turn up. He got another goal tonight, and it was a very well taken goal. So credit to him. Mahrez a 7, got his assist very well for that De Bruyne goal inside 2 minutes. But he had to score. He really had to score. He had another chance that, it was a very tight angle, fair enough, on his right foot that just went, wide of the far post for him. But that big chance where he's through on goal and he hits it off the post, he has to score there. I think these are as fair of ratings as we can possibly give, Joe, for the front three.
Oh, where do I start? Foden, for me, I think he's lucky to get a 7. He got his goal, yeah, granted, fair enough. He could have had a hat trick. He was so wasteful today. Passing was off. He wasn't really running at players. I don't understand. He wasn't helping back defensively that much either. I hope it's just one of them games, but he's been inconsistent this season. When he came into the team last season, he was undroppable. He's obviously started this season like he ended last season. He's been inconsistent. He's been in and out of the team. He's had a couple of injuries. He hasn't been performing to the standards that he set himself last season. Hopefully it's a blip, but I don't know, man. I wanted him taken off. I'm surprised he played 90 minutes. I think he couldn't hold the ball up. I think Jesus could hold the ball up. I'm surprised he went off before Foden. Scored the goal. He took his one chance that he got. He wasn't really in a position to get another chance, whether that be to him not getting the service or whether that was just him not being in position, I don't know. But his hold-up play was good. His pressing died in the second half, although everyone's did. I think there was sort of 10, 20 minutes between 55 and 75 minutes where we just didn't press at all. I mean, whenever we did press, it'd end up with Courtois and he'd hoof it and we'd get it straight back. I don't know why we didn't do it more. Sterling came on for him. Didn't do anything at all, but he came on far too late. Should have been an earlier change. Should have been. They're saying this about Pep subs a lot. I think he needs to make them earlier in these types of games. He needed more energy. It was so slow, and Mahrez missed 2 or 3 chances himself. Big misses. Madrid went up the other end and scored and took their chances. So, he was selfish at times, and then when he did get a chance, he didn't take it. It's not something that we usually say. We normally say Mahrez, consistent. You know that he's clinical. He's probably going to take a chance. But recently, we haven't been able to say that he's going to take a chance when he gets one, especially after tonight.
Yeah, look, it's a frustrating one because if you don't take your chances, teams as good as Real Madrid and as clinical as Real Madrid, they will punish like they did. We're not taking every clear-cut opportunity that we should be taking. They go up the other end and reduce the deficit. And I was even saying at times that maybe bring on Jack Grealish because whilst Grealish may not have proven himself so far this season to be, the clinical man in front of goal or get enough goal contributions, one thing you can give him credit for is he does track back and he does defend very well. Grealish, he's a hard worker, he's a workhorse, and we possibly could have done with that because Foden wasn't doing enough for that at times throughout the game. It was a 7-goal thriller. It was a game that will go down in history as a great game, but it's still all to play for, and there's still a huge amount of work to be done next week in Madrid, and we are very much looking forward to that. We'll be doing a live watch along for that one as well, but we have the massive game against Leeds this weekend for us. That is a must win, I still feel. And I'm sure the lads will talk about it in their preview for that game. Win Leeds away, win Wolves away, we'll win the league. Not many games to go this season. Win them all. We win everything, or we win the 2 big competitions anyway. Thanks very much for watching. Leave a like on the video. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments on the game. I'm sure all of you got some interesting ideas, and we want to see what all of you have to say. Leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you very soon. Good night, and God bless.